Welcome, 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 my friend. I'm thrilled you popped in today. First time here? Then hit that subscribe button like it owes you money and share this masterpiece with everyone you know, or just the ones who like awesome stuff. Tell me in the comments which city or country you're tuning in from. I love connecting with all of you. All right, curtain up. Let's get this show on the road. My name is Kieran. I'm 34 years old, working in software development. The first time I saw Kayla was at an engagement party for a friend we both knew. She wore a bright yellow dress, completely at odds with the formal vibe of the evening, but somehow made it seem intentional, even striking. She was bold, outspoken, and quick-witted, the kind of person who could take over a room without even trying. We dated for 2 years before getting married. At the start, life together felt good. She kept the house immaculate, and she had a way of making me feel like I was the most important part of her world. That changed when Troy started showing up more. He was the best friend from college she'd mentioned casually when we first met, someone who'd been there for her during tough times and stayed close ever since. I didn't think much of it. I had my own friends after all. But most friends don't text you every morning to wish you a good day and every night to say sweet dreams. At first, it was small things. He'd call while we were eating dinner, and Kayla would smile, say, "Give me 2 minutes," and disappear for 10. It escalated into an endless exchange of messages, shared memes, and private jokes that I was never part of. I'd glance at her on the couch, laughing at something on her phone, never at anything I said. Once, I asked, "Troy again?" She barely looked up. "Yeah, he's telling me some work drama. It's hilarious." I let it slide, but it didn't stop. One evening we tried watching a movie, but her phone buzzed non-stop. I paused it. "Kayla, do you even want to spend time with me right now?" She frowned. "Can we not go through this again? You know how close Troy and I are." I replied. "Exactly. That's the problem." She rolled her eyes. "You're making too much of it. It's nothing. But to me, it was everything. I didn't want to fight. I wanted my wife back, the one who used to hold my hand without a phone between us. It felt like I was up against someone who was always there, even when he wasn't physically present. And I was losing. About a month later, she talked me into going to a birthday dinner for one of her old friends. I wasn't in the mood for socializing, but I went. Marriage, I told myself, means showing up. The dinner was on a downtown rooftop, a table of 10. The place buzzed with noise, and the kind of people who looked like they'd spent hours getting ready. Troy was the last to arrive, strolling in like the night belonged to him. Fitted jacket, open collar, and a smirk to match. Kayla's face lit up, and she hurried over to wrap him in a hug and kiss his cheek. Without hesitation, he sat down in the chair between us, as if it had been set aside for him. For the next hour, I watched her hang on his every story, share food from her plate, and touch his arm whenever he cracked a joke. When he told some tale about a bouncer mistaking him for an actor, she laughed harder than she had at anything I'd said in months. Then came the jab. "So, Kieran," he said loudly enough for everyone, "are you always this quiet or just saving your energy for debugging code?" A ripple of laughter went around the table. Kayla didn't defend me. I forced a thin smile and stayed silent. Troy seemed pleased with himself. I sipped my water instead of saying something I'd regret. Later, in the car, I asked her why she let him sit between us. She shrugged. "You didn't say anything." I said, "Why should I have to? You're my wife. He's your friend." She sighed like I was exhausting her. "You're so serious all the time. Troy's just fun. You used to be fun." I stared out the windshield. "I'm not trying to be fun. I'm trying to be your husband." She rolled down the window. "Maybe you should try harder then." I didn't speak again for the rest of the drive, but something in me shifted. 2 weeks later, I arranged a weekend away, a quiet cabin in the woods, no interruptions, no phones. I told her in advance. She seemed on board, even picked out books to bring. On Friday morning, as I loaded the car, She came out with her phone in hand, looking uneasy. "Hey," she said, "Troy's going through something. His sister's had a problem and he's really upset. I think I should check on him tonight. Maybe we can leave tomorrow." I put the bag down. "Number. We've been planning this for weeks. He can lean on someone else right now." She folded her arms. "He's not just someone. He's my best friend. And I'm your husband," I said. She looked at me sharply. "Kieran, don't make this into a fight." I shook my head. "It already is. You've been closer to him than to me for a long time." She frowned. "That's not true. He's having a rough time." I shot back. "He's always having a rough time, and you're always the one running to fix it." Her voice hardened. "You're insecure. He's been part of my life longer than you." My stomach dropped. Then she said it, steady, almost casual. "If you make me choose, I'll always choose him." That was it. No hesitation, no second thoughts, just the truth. I looked at her for a long moment, then started pulling her bags from the car. "What are you doing?" she asked. "You don't have to choose," I said quietly. "I'm making the choice for you." She stepped closer. "Don't be dramatic." But I was finished. I grabbed my keys, walked past her, and drove straight to my sister's place. For the first time in months, I felt like I was somewhere real. Kayla called 15 times. I didn't answer. The line had been drawn, and she'd already shown me where she stood. That weekend, I stayed with my sister Renee. She didn't press for explanations, just handed me a coffee, pointed to the guest room, and let me be. By Sunday night, I told her everything. The constant messages, the rooftop dinner, the cabin argument, the final blow. Renee leaned back, arms crossed. "You already know what this is," she said. I stayed quiet. "She's gone, Kieran. And Troy? He's not just a friend. He's a door she's keeping wide open." I wanted to argue, but instead I asked, "What would you have done?" Renee didn't pause for even a heartbeat. "Figure out who he actually is." So that's exactly what I set out to do. I remembered Troy once mentioning he'd lived with a guy named Jasper, maybe a former roommate, maybe someone he'd fallen out with. I hunted Jasper down on Instagram and sent him a direct message. He replied that same day, said he didn't owe Troy anything, and sure, he had a few stories, the kind Troy would never post publicly. We arranged to meet at a diner the next night. Jasper skipped the small talk. From his account, Troy followed a pattern. He'd slide into the role of helpful friend, but only if the woman was already dating someone else. It wasn't generosity, it was methodical. He'd present himself as the steady, understanding presence, always just close enough. When the woman's relationship started to show cracks, that's when he'd move in. Kayla wasn't the first. Far from it. Jasper claimed Troy used to brag about his approach, waiting patiently, becoming the constant in their lives, and stepping in once they were vulnerable. For him, it was a strategy. Be the loyal friend until it was time to replace the boyfriend. That was his routine. Then Jasper hit me with the part that lodged in my chest. Troy had apparently said more than once that Kayla just needed time, that sooner or later she'd recognize he was the one always there, that I was nothing but a temporary placeholder. Hearing that tightened something in my throat. Deep down, I'd already suspected as much. I left the diner, sat in my car, and stared at the steering wheel for a long while before driving home. When I walked into our apartment, Kayla was on the couch, scrolling her phone as if it were any ordinary evening. I set my keys down. She looked up. "Back already?" I didn't answer her question. "What does Troy say about me when I'm not here?" Her face went still. "I'm not here to argue," I told her. "We need distance. Time to step back and see this clearly." She studied me carefully. "So you're giving up?" "I'm giving you space," I said. "But before we do that, I want one thing." She tilted her head slightly. "What is it?" "If Troy's really just a friend, like you've always claimed, call him. Tell him we've split up." Her mouth twitched. "Why?" "Just do it. Let's see his reaction." She leaned back, folding her arms. "So now you want to play games?" "No games, just truth. If he's only a friend, this will prove it. Kayla stared at me for a long moment, then picked up her phone. You're going to feel ridiculous after this. I hope you're right, I said. She put it on speaker. Hey, she said when he answered. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you, Kieran and I broke up. There was a pause, then Troy's voice came through, overly enthusiastic. No way! Are you serious? I am. Another beat of silence. Then, finally. Listen, I'm here if you need anything. Whatever you need. Kayla glanced at me. I gave a small nod. Go on? She hesitated. I don't know. Maybe I just need to clear my head. Troy jumped on it instantly. Perfect. Let's hit the lake house. You remember that spot we went with everyone? Just us this time. We'll drink, talk, forget all this. Troy, she said, I've been waiting for this. You know that, right? I've always seen you. Kayla ended the call. The quiet that followed felt heavier than his words. I stood up. That's you're just a friend. She looked rattled. That's not like him. No, I said. That's exactly like him. You just didn't want to notice. Her phone lit with a text from Troy. I'm already packing. She didn't read it aloud. After that, Kayla didn't bother defending him, but Troy didn't back off. The next day, her phone was flooded with messages, some pleading, you don't have to be scared anymore, some smug, you've always wanted this, some unsettling, we're perfect together, don't resist. She stopped responding. A week passed. I stayed at my sister's. No calls or texts to Kayla. If silence was what she needed, she had it now. Then she showed up at my work. My coworker texted from the front desk, your wife's here, she's crying. Outside, her face was pale. He followed me to work, she said. Left flowers on my car with a note. Called me 15 times this morning. I had to block him. I nodded. Good, keep him blocked. I filed for a restraining order, she said. I didn't press for details. I was wrong, she admitted finally. You were right. I let out a breath. I wasn't trying to be right. I was trying to be your husband. She wiped her cheeks. Can we fix this? No. Why not? Because fixing it would mean pretending you never said what you said, and I can't erase that, especially when you meant it. 2 weeks later, Kayla moved out. I filed for divorce quietly, no scenes, no drawn-out disputes. She signed without protest. Maybe she thought we could circle back someday, or maybe she knew that was impossible. Either way, it ended cleanly. She didn't reach out again, except for a brief message. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry. From what I later heard, Troy didn't vanish easily. After she blocked him, he started messaging her friends and posting cryptic lines on Instagram, stuff like the real ones always come back, tagging her in old photos. Eventually, she went to the police, secured the restraining order, and changed her numbers. By then, it wasn't my problem anymore. I'd already started seeing someone new, Blair. No hidden motives, no turbulence, just quiet, easy company. One night, Renee and I were having drinks when she asked, do you ever feel bad about how it ended? I thought about it for maybe 2 seconds. Number she made her decision. I just stepped aside. Renee gave a knowing smile. Yeah, she got exactly what she wanted. I nodded. And I got exactly what I needed. What was this? Someone who didn't see me as the backup plan. That's when it hit me. Troy had never been the real issue. It was the swiftness with which the person I'd once promised forever revealed I was merely an afterthought, and the quiet relief that came with finally refusing to live with that reality. Months later, I crossed paths with Kayla at the farmer's market. She looked smaller somehow, her cheeks hollow, her spark muted. For a second, I almost walked past without recognizing her. But she spotted me first. Kieran, she called out, stepping toward me. Can we talk? I gave a slight shrug. Sure. We stood there, uneasy, as though our only link now was the echo of a life that no longer existed. I heard you're with someone, she said in a low voice. Yeah, Blair, she's good to me. Kayla's nod was brief. I'm glad. I didn't ask about her, but she started talking anyway. Troy, again. After she'd moved in with him, things unraveled. He'd created fake accounts to send her messages, targeted her sister online, and eventually forced her to move once more. I stayed silent, letting her get it out. "I don't understand how I didn't see it," she confessed. "You did," I answered. She didn't argue. "I think about the day I told you I'd always choose him," she continued. "I can't even recognize that person now. I kept my words to myself. I thought he was steady," she whispered. "Safe. And I was disposable," I said. Her eyes lowered. "I never wanted to hurt you." "You didn't trip into it," I replied evenly. "You looked me in the eye and pushed." She flinched. "Do you think there's any chance we could—" "No." Her throat tightened as she swallowed. "I just wish I'd chosen differently." I tilted my head slightly. "If you're ever asked to choose again, don't pick the one already standing in someone else's place." A faint, brittle smile tugged at her lips. "You've always been better at seeing the truth." I rolled my cart forward, moving past her. "Not always, just too late back then." Turning down the next aisle, I felt something I hadn't experienced in more than a year. A lightness, as though the final thread tying me to her had finally come loose. And here's the thing. When someone shows you where you stand in their life, believe it. And if they make it clear you're second, walk away before they start believing you'll stay just to become first.